So I want to make this video today to kind of explain a little bit more in depth of exactly what I'm trying to do here and answer some of the questions that I've already gotten from people. So I guess I'll start with this. This song that's playing in the background is a Cure song. It's a song called Trust. It's off the album Wish by The Cure. Somebody had asked that question. This is actually my cover of it that I'm working on. All the songs you're going to hear playing in my videos are songs that I'm working on just because I don't have to worry about royalties and all that stuff. So hopefully The Cure doesn't sue me over this one. I just like the song. So I've got the whole trailer primered now. It took about 1.5 gallons of primer. That's about $80 worth of primer. So it's primered. I'm going to be painting it as soon as the primer dries, so that's going to be on my next visit up here. The reason progress is not moving faster is twofold. Number one, I work 2 jobs, and so my full-time job, is Monday through Friday, and then my part-time job, I end up working a few nights of the week, and then also on the weekends. So I only get to come up here and work every, 3 or 4 nights a week for a couple hours a night, so I can't put all my time into it like some people do when they're building these. I'm at a point where, I had to make a decision about what I was going to do next in the course of my life, and I decided to take this course. So to give you a little bit more background, for the last year, since February of 2014 or so, I've been living in a van with my dog, and we've been, working full-time during that whole period, and it's hard to save money when you live in a van because, you're eating every meal out, and you're driving from place to place all the time, which uses a lot of gas, and, so you don't save as much money as you might think you'd save just by not having rent. And anyway, I saved a bunch of money, and I thought I was going to get a place, and then I couldn't find any place around here that would let me have my dog that was less than like $1,500 a month, and I just can't afford that. That's like, that's most of my pay. So I was looking for solutions and not finding anything, and I found this space to rent. It's about $800 a month. That's what it's costing me to rent this shop here. That's another question that somebody asked is like, how do I get a space to do this in? I looked on Craigslist, found somebody who was renting a shop. There was like a motorcycle repair shop in this space before that guy moved out in February. And I just told the owner I was going to build a tiny house here and, let him know exactly what I was going to do, and he was okay with it. Unfortunately, I can't afford an apartment and this shop, so I'm going to stay in the van until this thing's done. And, this tiny house, maybe, somebody moving from a 2,000 square foot house into a tiny house that's 272 square feet, probably going to be bummed out about that and losing a lot of space. If you've been living in a van for a year and you're going to be building this thing for another year, by the time I move into it, compared to living in a van, it's going to be pretty huge. It's going to be sweet. And this way I can, get a piece of land and live relatively simply and pursue my goals of playing music and making videos and having fun, instead of, killing myself working all the time. So, that's kind of like my long-term goal with it. Short-term, somebody noticed that the wood that I had sitting on the trailer in the first video was not pressure treated, and they're like, oh, you can't use that for your flooring. Well, that was actually just some wood I was using to build a ladder so that I could get up behind where the camera is right now. There's a space on top that I can put a bunch of my junk, and that way all the space where all my junk is can be a space for, plywood and 2x4s and drywall and all that kind of stuff. So, like whenever I'm not working on the actual trailer, I'm also working on the space to get it ready for things like all these lights behind me are going to have to be raised when I start building the actual walls. So there's a lot of things that I'll have to do in addition to building this trailer, but the reason I got this space instead of a shop or something is that, I don't want my lumber getting stolen, I don't want my tools getting stolen, and, nobody comes into space when I'm not here. Plus, because I work full-time during the day, this gives me a place with light. Like right now it's dark outside, and that's not a problem because I've got light in here, so I can work in here until midnight. after work, and then you know, still get something done without worrying about the light failing me, or you know, if it gets cold, there's a heater here. So you know, that's kind of why I got the space. Let's see. So I will be using pressure treated wood when I actually build the subfloor here, so rest easy on that. But please feel free to continue to ask those kinds of questions and make suggestions, because I am not a professional builder by any means, and I'm happy to take advice from professionals. Just keep in mind that you know, I'm trying to do this all on a budget. So I mean, if something is a catastrophic failure and it needs to be fixed, I will fix it. But if it's like, hey, you know, it would be better if you built it with this thing, but you know, you can get by with this, I'm probably going to get by with this, you know what I mean? That being said, somebody asked whether the $2,000 or $1,500 for the trailer was the whole thing, you know, the house, or just the trailer. What I meant was, when I looked into buying like a brand new trailer, just the flatbed trailer, it was like $15,000 for a flatbed trailer, and then building the house on top of that. So this is, you know, I paid $750 for the trailer. I'm going to pay another $800 or so for wheels and rims, and you know, maybe another $300-400 to get the brakes all spiffed up, you know, and the trailer package and everything. So, you know, I'm going to look at about $2,000 for the flatbed part, and then another $5,000 to $10,000 for the actual structure itself. So, you know, if you want to know a ballpark figure, I'm going to figure just under 20 grand to build the whole thing, not counting the cost of the space. What else? I'm actually going to do a whole video on ways to get by when you're in a van, because, you know, there's some tips and tricks I've learned. Like, for instance, real basic one, if you ever find yourself and you need to sleep in your car, it's pretty much illegal to sleep in your car everywhere. So what I do is I park in a new space every night. I don't ever stay in the same place for, you know, like, I don't show up there and lay around and watch TV and listen to the radio. I do all that stuff in another spot, and then when I'm ready to sleep, I move to the space where I'm going to sleep for the night. That way they see, if anybody's paying attention, they see somebody pull up, and then hopefully they forget about it and I go to sleep, and I pull up, you know, late at night, and I leave early in the morning, and hopefully nobody even notices I was there. At night, I'm just another parked car on the street, as long as I'm not drawing attention to myself. So I don't draw attention to myself. And that's, you know, I've had a couple of run-ins with the police in the last year. I've had 3 run-ins with the police before I learned kind of where to park and where not to park. So luckily the cops were pretty sympathetic, you know, tell them you've got a job, tell them you're working and this is just all you can afford right now, and they're much more sympathetic than if you're like, you know, somebody with a big drug problem that doesn't have a job, and, you know, then things might not go as well for you. So yeah, that's the thing. So now that it's primed, I will be working on paint the next time I'm up here, which will probably be Thursday. So, you know, I'm going to be like 2 or 3 days where I won't be able to come up here at all, because I'm working my night job on those days. But then I'll be here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So my next video, you should see this thing painted, and after that I will be getting, you know, trying to get in depth on the brakes and getting everything finished up so that I can start building. I don't see any point in building until I get the frame prepped, because it'd be really hard to paint the frame once something's starting to build on it. It'd be really hard to fix the brakes once there's weight on it. So, you know, I'm trying to do those things, which are boring as far as, you know, you guys watching. It's not going to be that interesting for a little bit. I can't make a video every day because I can't be here every day. You know, it takes my computer a little time to render these edits, even though I'm not doing something fancy with my edits. You know, it does take my slow old computer some time to render stuff. So, you know, I make a video on Sunday, and then it takes me till Wednesday or Thursday to get it rendered, and then it takes me till Friday to upload it. You know, you just got to bear with me. I'm doing the best I can, and sometimes I might get videos quicker, sometimes it may take me a little longer, but I promise that I will do my best to keep you guys up to date on what's happening and keep it interesting if I can, so that you're not bored and you learn something and I don't leave stuff out. If you have questions because I skipped over something, feel free to ask questions. You know, I'll do my best to address everything in comments. Somebody said they liked this beat, this one that's starting up now on the last video. This is a beat I did for a Scottish rapper named Kyle the Rapper, and he's got a bunch of really great stuff, and you should check his stuff out. This is the instrumental track that I did for his song called Sense, and I have that video up on YouTube on my own personal channel. If you want to check it out, you can probably find it. Kyle the Rapper, Sense. remix by Johnny Prophet. You'll find it. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's about it for this one. We hit about 10 minutes here, and I'm going to add a little footage that I shot of, the whole trailer being primed. This is pretty exciting stuff. And then, I'll probably set up the camera and try to get you some shots of what it looks like when I'm actually painting, when I start painting in a few days. So look forward to that. If you've never seen painting before, it'll probably be pretty exciting. And just so everybody knows, if you see the red on my hands that I couldn't get cleaned off yet, I didn't murder hobo. That's just the primer. So you use a rusty metal primer, you get red stuff all over your hands. All right, cool. Hopefully I've answered all the important questions, and if not, feel free to drop comments. As always, if you like the videos, you want to see more, you don't want to miss anything, please subscribe. And Facebook.com, Big Man Tiny House. That's the website if you want to follow. I put photos and a little more of a blog type thing there if you want to watch that stuff. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting started on the actual building, but I just got to take my time and do it right. Oh, more questions that had been asked is, where am I planning to put this? Am I going to run it solar? Am I going to run it on a generator? Or blah blah blah. Once I get it done, I'm going to find a place. Ideally, I'm going to find a piece of land somewhere. Ideally, that land will have a well. There is some places within about an hour's drive of here that where I can get a couple acres and a well for something I could probably afford. And there's some other places around here that there's no way I'll be able to afford it, and I might have to lease. So it really comes down to, hopefully throughout the course of building this, maybe I'll make some contacts with people who can make suggestions as far as that kind of thing is concerned. But kind of just winging it because I'm living in a van, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm in a van, so finish this thing, even if it's not, if I don't have a place to put it, it's still going to be better than a van until I get a place. If I have to put it in a trailer park for a couple of months till I can get a place to put it, I'll put it in a trailer park for a couple of months. I don't know. But I got plenty of time because it's going to take, it's going to take me a while to build it. So, yeah, again, if anybody has questions, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. You get it. Anyway, take it easy.